Alrighty. I think we're live. Everything's pointing toward us being live. And we're going to see about how well we can do today. So, our goal today is to work at building the best train we can build out of just using two cars. We're going to be starting from absolute scratch. So let's just wrong. We'll do. Tell you what. Today, I think we'll just do a normal game. The reason behind just sticking with normal is that we still want to be able to get a good amount of materials from enemies, but we don't want to be spending a whole lot of time on it. So this portion right here is part of the prologue. This came in, I forget what version it actually came in, but we are in this, or it's in this, so let's just see what we can accomplish. Of course, we've already opened two doors before it gives us that notice. Alright, so we got our... Alright, we've got our engines repaired. We've got now, in the prologue, there's not much we can really do as far as interacting. We can't open our inventory. And once we actually enter the weapons, we turn our indoor lights off. Once we open our weapons, we're not going to be able to get back out. So we won't be able to go out and collect anything from from the down drones that we're fixing to take out. But we'll see how things go. So, on a side note, it looks like we are still having issues where it's not showing to, or it's not extending the feed to YouTube. So, trying to dual stream here to both tell you what, I'm going to turn this, see if I can't turn the stream off on YouTube. I'll just upload the video to it afterwards. So we're fixing to get heavy drones. Heavy drones. This gun will not take down. These light scout drones we can take down with this gun, but the heavy drones we cannot. And alright, so that is our prologue. Alright, so this is the basic start. In this building, there's not very much stuff that we can pick up. There's a couple things in this room. We got a first aid kit and a battery. I don't think there's anything else. Now, one of the beauties of whenever you get close to equipment that can be picked up, it will highlight. There's a lot of lockers like that we can open, but those we cannot. So, all right. Now there's a couple things as far as moving around goes. We can hit the tab, or I'm sorry, the shift button, and it will toggle running for us. For the most part, using running is not worth it. Yeah, you'll get places a little quicker, but you end up burning through your stamina at a much faster rate. So, not really worth it, because if you use it, you'll be burning through your consumables a lot quicker. So, not, like I said, not worth it. So, now, the very first thing we got to do is we need to get our power on in here. Now, we turn our flashlight on, but there's just enough lighting that we could see where we need to go. And the reason why I don't turn the flashlight on is just to save battery power. It is free to recharge these small batteries at each station. And later on in the game, when you've built up your train enough, you can actually have battery charging stations on your train. This info right here will give you code for the storage door right below us. Alright, let's see. We'll just read. Let's save over that one. Alright. So, on a side note, overall, I've got probably close to 300 hours. Actually, I think I'm a little over 300 hours total playtime on the game. I've been playing it through multiple different versions. As a matter of fact, I've been playing since I don't remember if I know I've been playing since before the solar field opened. That is off of a sideline of the tracks. So yeah, I've been playing this for a bit. So the main things, the most restrictive items that you're going to need to be watched out for is these blueprints, and then power cores. The blueprints allow us to open up things to build. So, like, in order for us to create first aid kits, we'd have to spend a blueprint here in order to make the first aid kits. But the items that we need to create first aid kits, we will not get those items until either we get lucky and they drop from a drone we shoot down, or it'll be like the 5th station that we get to. So in here is going to be your engine core. That is what you're going to need for power, or well, for the engine, so that you're actually able to go actually move your train. So my rankings on the most valuable commodities are going to be, I almost would tie blueprints to power cores, except once you get to a certain point of blueprints, you don't need you're not going to need any more. So I'd probably say power cores, then blueprints, weapon chips, tech scrap, and then your base material and your smart material. I mean, base material, you can turn it into smart material without any issues. So the just regular material, which is going to be this right here, is very, very common. You're going to get tons of it. Smart material, you'll get a pretty good bit of it just from drops and picking up across the map, but you can also turn the material into smart material. Energy drinks, that is a consumable to help restore your energy, or actually now in this version it's hunger. Cartridge. The only thing it's good for is for decorating your train. I tend to not really decorate much. I might repaint everything, but I don't decorate it. Just or at least that's what I've done in the past. I might work at decorating this train in time, but all right. So one more building we can empty out down here. Actually, I think we're going to go up here up on the hill to our left. So this is the scrapper. It has a drone that just goes out, picks up scrap, which is actually going to be just material, and you can pick it up from this box. All right. Well, actually, let's actually leave all this material down here for a minute. And the reason why is if we have the material on us, one, we won't be able to sprint, which we're not going to be sprinting anyways. But 2 will actually be burning through our stamina or our hunger a little bit faster. So up here in this, up on this hill, you see the one building there. There's actually a second building that you can't see behind that rock. There's a couple things in there that are usable. They're handy. And then there's actually a second place we can go before we take off in the train from here. It's actually on the other side of the tracks. I'll point you in that direction, but we're actually not going to go up there. Up there, there is one can of food, one battery, and one first aid kit, if memory serves me correctly. Problem with going up there is we would actually end up going through as much stamina or hunger. I'm just going to keep calling it stamina. We'll go through just as much stamina, or as much stamina going up there and back as the can of food that we'd be getting. And we would be getting another battery. We would be getting another first aid kit. But the batteries, they're so plentiful across the map. We'll end up having 20, 30 of them, and they're just not. I mean, we could turn them into tech scrap, but it's not needed. By the time we get to where we have all the blueprints we need, we will have plenty of tech scrap to build anything and everything we need. Oh, yeah. Not going to complain about that. Now, as you're walking across, if you stay in the kind of or shrubbery, you actually are going to walk faster than if you're over in the snow. The slow just slows you down more, whereas the shrubbery does not. So. Alright. We will be going and grabbing that materials out of the scrapper here shortly. Because we are going to be building some storage boxes. So this right here, fusion core, that is for building basically a nuclear reactor. Now, typically speaking, with the nuclear or with the reactor, you're going to want to have it as far away from any place that you are standing, or you're going to be spending any time. And the reason behind that is you will take radioactive damage if you don't. Alright. So I'm building two screens right off the bat because we are going to need a pair of screens. But first off, let's open our build menu, unlock building the engine, and let's place it down. Now we will be moving this later on, but for the time being, it's just sitting there. It's just fine. Alright, so this is where we're going to be controlling our engine from, or our train from, and this is where we'll monitor our power. Starting off, the train has 500 total power. Just turning the engine on, I think it's 60 power per minute of usage. And running a single engine, well, I'll show you how much power we end up burning with running the engine. Alright, so we are now currently overweight. We can't jump to get up there, so we'll have to actually go around the building, come in through the steps. So one of the things we are going to be doing is we're going to start building some storage boxes so that we're not so overloaded. And alright, here's where we can charge our batteries. Right here. I'm going to open this door and point you in the direction. Now this is something we might come back to and get later. Okay. That just is a shortcut walking. But actually, let's walk over here. Yeah, that's the shortcut to walk to the next station. But back, right there, going left, there's a path. And that actually goes to a memorial to one of the game devs, if memory serves me right, what the stone says. So, all right. So the items we're going to need to build the chest is we're going to need smart material. So let's grab start craft some smart material. And alright, so we got ourselves a nice little warning there. So we're going to use one of our portable batteries. Actually, we'll use two of them. And we will go ahead and drink an energy drink. As far as your batteries go, most stations have two charging ports for batteries. And it takes two batteries to go from empty on our suit to full. So it just makes things easier to use both of them, or use two at the same time. When we get to our next station, we actually, you know what? Yeah. When we get to the next station, we will be crafting up a couple of energy drinks so that we have energy. Alright, now back on to the train. We're going to fire up. So when we're in station, we get charged at a rate of 200 units of energy per minute. And as soon as we turn the engine on, we dropped 60 units. Now let's start moving forward. We're on just power 1. So we just dropped down to being plus 40, so that's 160. It's 160 units of power per minute. Now, you might be saying, why is our meter showing minus 110? Well, when we're out on the tracks, we automatically get recharged at 50 units per minute. So Matter of fact, let me just turn the engine off and show. So there we are. We're plus 50 per minute. And so if you're ever out on the tracks and a storm comes in, if you shut your engines off, shut all your lights off, turn everything off, with the exception of turning on one heater, the heater will pull 40 units of power per minute. So you're going to be pulling 40 units, but you'll be charging at 50 units. So when a storm hits, you'll still be actually charging the battery. So I'm going ahead and kicking it up to throttle 3. Now dropping it, or in throttle 3, we're burning 310. We're negative 310, so that's going to be 360 units of power, just being or running at the level 3. Now at level 3, you see we're hovering right around a velocity of we're dropping down. We were up over 100. So as you can see, it's getting dark. Storm is rolling in, and our goal is to get inside the next station. Fortunately, at this station, we do not have to open doors to get in, but the next station we will. Alright, so we are charging the batteries back up, and let's start gathering the material that's in here. We've got a couple of outbuildings, plus a scrapper that's just right outside on that side of the tracks. And then we also have a couple buildings up the hill. I might as well start dropping things off. Now I'd like to try to separate things. The reason behind that is we cannot build from container storage. So I like having everything organized to make things easier to find things. So alright, refined fission fuel. That is the fuel that is needed for the reactor. The reactor puts off a fair bit of power. I mean, it's enough to keep the train running on with one engine on one stage, or on stage 1 for quite some time. But the problem with running the engine is, or running the reactor, is 1, you're burning your fuel, and 2, you're going to have radioactive waste to mess with. So, alright, actually, I think we're going to take a couple of those and leave, just so we have a couple of material on us. Alright. Now let's craft us up an energy drink. So the 3 things that you can craft is you're going to be able to craft energy drinks, canned soup, and first aid kits. the energy drinks require a plant. All three require a different plant. So there's some. We'll actually just use this. So Shadow Breeze is what's required for the energy drinks. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that, but I just call it plant A. And then this is going to be H. That's just the way I think of it. A and H. So, all right. We'll hit the scrapper on the way back down. As a matter of fact, let's just run up there first, and then we'll hit this one, hit that building on the way back. Now, I'm very, very cautious about how much stamina I go through. And the reason behind that is just because of starting off, we're pretty limited on our materials as far as what we have to make consumables. So, and it's actually at best typically not until we get to station 4 before we even get consumables and the stuff that we need for making, being able to produce the plants, because what we'll end up getting is we will get seeds that we have to grow from. So this storage room, there's materials, there's, so we're going to go turn the flashlight on just because it's very, very dark in here. Alright. Now, one of the big things is, while we're out and about, you do not want to get caught in a storm. If you get caught in a storm, you'll go into freezing state, and when you go into freezing state, your energy, your health starts dropping rapidly. So, definitely do not want that. The only time I would suggest ever using sprint is if you're caught outside and you need to get back to the train. Either train or station or something like that. So that is the only time I would recommend ever using your sprint. Alright, so when we got to this station, we did unlock a few things that we could do to the train. We actually opened the build structure. That's where we start building walls, windows, ceiling, floor, obviously. A lot of stuff is still locked until we get further along in the game. As we get to each new station, new items are unlocked for us to be able to build. But actually, let's grab scrap or grab material. In all honesty, it will get to the point where we have so much material that we'd have nothing to build with it, and we'll be limited on other things in order to be able to build. But actually, yeah, I need to look at the storm, or when the next storm comes through. Okay, we got 10 minutes. So one of the things we are on the lookout for is a weapon chip. We're going to have one once we get past this next station, because that's when we're going to be first introduced to drones that are going to be attacking us. Well, I say first introduced, we got introduction of those in the prologue, but alright. There is a storage box right up here that has a few things, and it's quite possible that that's where our weapon chip is. There's only a few set locations of it's guaranteed what's going to be there is going to be there, or a couple of locations are set guaranteed to be certain things. There's whereas the vast majority of locations, it is just luck of the draw. It's also going to be luck of the draw on what we get from down drones. And I did not empty my inventory. Now, I do like collecting as much of plants as everything as I can. Shadow Breeze, like I mentioned earlier, it is what's used for making our energy drinks. And in the early game, the energy drinks is what you're going to be using for refilling your hunger quite a bit. Once we get to the next station, that is when we will start working at making canned food. Now, one of the items I'm really hoping that we pick up at the next station is advanced capacitor. That is going to be required for us to be able to build a extra battery for increasing our total charge on the train. Alright, so on occasion you'll run into where you're overweight. You can't get up back on the train. So get to an obstacle that you can't clear, drop a bunch of stuff, jump up, and then pick everything back up. Alright, so in order to open the doors on this next station, we actually have to turn the power on to the station before we can open the doors. And the power room is actually locked behind a security pad that we have to put in a code. And the code is 6718. That code can be found on a data or one of those little data pads that you can pick up. But I just happen to remember the codes to all the doors, so that just makes things quicker for me. So this station that we're getting to. That's where we're actually going to see the first changes from the open beta to the closed beta. We are in the closed beta. I've been one of the testers of the closed beta for quite some time now. And typically speaking, any issues that I've found, someone else has typically already mentioned them. So. All right. So turning power on is just like at the very first station that we were at, except with the difference of that our terminals that we have to turn on are so much closer together. So all right. Yeah, we got scout drones that we get to deal with coming next. All right. So how much time do we have? 2 minutes. All right. There is our weapon chip. All right. Well, storm's about to come in, so we're just going to start building out our train. So let's grab all the materials we have. don't need the cartridges. Alright. Let's start with some windows. Typically speaking, I would put the door dead center. But right now, we don't have the half walls unlocked yet. So it's not something we can really justify doing. So let's... That will get moved later on. It's going to get pushed back against the wall once we actually build this back train. But we're not going to mess with building it out yet. Let's see. Now, the best time to actually be working on building out the train is while the storm is rolling or going on. That way you're utilizing that time. Oh, shoot. So if you ever goof up like I just did, you can easily just move panels so that you're not scrapping them and having to rebuild them. But something to think about going forward. Now, if we were to be just leaving this in the long term being a single story train, we would go straight for building ceiling, but we're actually going to be putting floor up. And the reason behind putting floor up is because we are going to turn this into a double layer or story train. So for what we are actually going to end up doing is we are going to build or do floor. See how quickly we're burning through suit power. So let's grab these. Should be fully charged. We will be closing in, but before we do, before we do, let's build ourselves a ladder so we can get up there. We're going to be putting down, we're going to be building our first turret, so we need to build some mechanical parts, or one mechanical part. So over time, we are going to be having to unlock these things. I'm holding off on unlocking them to see what we end up getting drops wise and whatnot. So, all right, let's build ourselves rapid burst. So that's going to be our main turret. We're going to leave the ladder there for the time being because later on, once we do enclose the upper portion, we're going to be entering the upper portion from this car. So, all right. So we need some smart material, and we need another screen. Didn't think we fit the fifth one up there, but it was worth a shot. All right. I actually might end up moving those boxes just back a little bit further closer to the edge of the door, but that will come later on. I don't need to do that now. So, as I mentioned, this is like pretty well the first difference that you'll see besides the change in the journal, and actually also the change in being considered, or the change from energy to hunger. But this building, being damaged as it is not in the open beta. The open beta, this building is whole, hail, and you don't have all the damage from the drone. Don't have all the pieces sitting there from it. And I don't remember if there were turrets on the buildings or not. I don't remember. So this station has 2 scrappers. Now, one of the things with the scrappers is depending on what difficulty level you're running on, the scrappers will get destroyed. The drones themselves. So that's something to be mindful of. Now, each of these scrappers, they max out on having 30 units of material sitting there. That's just the max that they'll hold. So when you get to them, once they get full, you're not going to. They're just not going to be collecting anymore. So something to keep in mind. Double check to see if I missed anything. Alright, so we did not get any let's just pull it up here. So to build the power cell, which is basically a battery, required advanced capacitors. We got 0 out of the station. So we were going to need, we're going to be short on power getting to the next station. We can make up for that being short on power by running our reactor. 1 second here. So we're going to be running our reactor. Now, all right. Now you might be thinking, why aren't we moving on to the next station? Well, we're going to need a good bit of time. Let's see, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. It'd be tight to make it to the tunnel in 6 minutes. Between taking down the drones, picking up all the scrap, it would be tight. So we're just going to continue working on things here. Typically speaking, you'll get to the point where you have a wall, or if you're trying to store everything that you pick up, you'll end up having a wall of containers just full of material. All right. Now, one of the things I really like doing is I really like having all my consumables up here by the controls. And I'll actually eventually have stacks of a stack of containers here. I'll have four total, so we'll have the batteries in one container, energy drinks, first aid, and then the cans of food, which we currently have 0 cans of food. We will be getting them, or we'll start crafting those at our next station. So, all right. See out there. Oh, he's still moving. Never mind. I was going to say the scrapper might have been destroyed, but no, he's moving. So now there's between here and we'll step out here. Let's see if we can how far we can see. All right. Just over there is, well, actually, right there you can see one of the scout drones. There's another one. And then once we engage those two more will be coming over that ridge. So we'll have 4 scout drones to deal with. And then right around the corner there's a little area that's got... Oh, that right there was one of our drones, or scavengers, blowing up. But right over there's a little cave that has some different things. We got an info thing to pick up, and then we've got I think there's going to be some a blueprint, some scrap, just different stuff over there. And then down here, you can go down. There's a frozen lake bed that goes around, and back here there's another cave that has some other odds and ends that we can pick up. And if memory serves me right, there is a can of food back there. That one's actually would be worth going back to, but we're going to be on foot, and getting back up, we're going to have to move some things to actually be able to get back out of there. So we're going to need time for doing that. So we're just going to be waiting for this storm to pass. I was going to say I think the storm's fixing to hit, and yep. So as far as the storms go, storms come every 15 minutes, or you'll have 15 minutes of non-storm, and then you'll have 5 minutes with the storm raging. Whenever the storm hits, obviously it gets very, very dark out, and then the temperature drops. If you're caught outside in the storm, you will you'll go into the freezing state, and that's not very fun. So, not something you want to get caught doing. Now, something else. Once we have the blueprints to burn, and it's not really burning them because it does help tremendously. We will be able to unlock the weather screen and antenna. That way we can see when a storm's going to hit from inside the train. Definitely something we'll want once we pass the next station. The next station, that is where we're going to be picking up a lot. There's a lot of stuff around for us to pick up. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be quite useful for us. Now, we are going to have to we're going to have to be able to build a heater to go from the next station. So this station we're at right now, this is station number, it's the third station that we're to. So to go from the fourth station to the fifth station, because you will get attacked en route, and if you want to collect everything from it, you're not going to make it to the next station in the 15 minutes of sun being out. So you will want to have a heater on your train. Now, typically speaking, I will put the heater like right here on this wall, right behind the door. Sometimes I'll put it right here on the glass. And so I'll put it like right here on the glass. If I put it here on the glass, then we can stand right up here. We'll stay toasty. We won't run into the risk of getting frostbitten or the frostbite. If we put it back here, we can be doing work back here while we're sitting, waiting. So, all right. So I am going to go ahead and put. Oh, I guess I need to grab the fuel out of the storage. I'm going to go ahead and put fuel in the alright, where did I put the fuel? In the reactor. That way we have power. Run at full tilt. We have enough fuel to run for 8 minutes. Now we're not going to have to run full tilt with reactor because we are just going to be moving at power level 1 on the engine. So we're going to be playing on it. We'll be fine there. We'll have more than enough power to make it to the next station. Because we're actually going to have a spot where we're going to have to stop midway between this station and the next station to unlock a gate. But alright. Storm is ending. Now on our bottom left corner, right above our health bar, there's a little cloud that was blinking. That was to represent that there's a storm going on. So as we're driving past, I'm going to jump off and pick up whatever scrap came out of that scrapper we can. I don't know what we'll get. We'll probably just be maybe some tech scrap, some material, smart material, something along those lines. That's typically all you'll get out of these whenever they're destroyed. So 2 tech scrap. So that's another thing with the train. If you jump off with it still running, it will automatically apply the brakes. So, alright. So just up here on the left, this is the area I was talking about that you need a lot of time to be able to run over there, get the stuff, and make it back. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and go over there. I'll actually shut the engine off so we're not, or so that we can keep the battery charged. Alright. I should have grabbed an energy drink before. So I don't think I've got any on me, do I? No. So that crate right there, we have to move it over to that ledge so that we can jump up on the box and then jump up onto the ledge in order to get back out of here. We'll just go ahead and sprint. Just cuts down some time. We are going to be burning our stamina up a little faster, but alright. Ooh-wee, we got ourselves a capacitor. That's actually going to be worth for us to back up to the station, put the capacitor, or build us a battery, so that we have more battery for making it to the next station. That is going to mean that we'll have to wait another storm, possibly. We've only been like 4 minutes since the storm. Maybe. Well, we'll see what happens when we get back to the train. If we were to build the battery while we're not in station, then the battery really isn't helping us much, other than now we have the extra storage. We just don't. It's not going to become, or it won't come recharged. So we'll have to charge the battery one way or another, whether it's using our reactor to charge it. I mean, it's not going to hurt us any to do it that way. It would be the same as if we're didn't have it as far as making this journey. So moving this box is just a matter of pushing it. You're not clicking anything. But yeah, you just have to get it close enough that you can jump up on that ledge. And once you're up that ledge, it's just the rest of this you don't. It's just a matter of jumping to clear obstacles. So whenever you're going down there, make sure you're not over encumbered. Alright, so just that one, each power cell is 600 units of power. So we're actually charging the power cell while still driving, moving forward. That's because we've got the reactor going. Now, I'm keeping an eye on the clock just so I know when the storm hits. Alright. I'm waiting for the drone to be as much over this flat as we can. That way less of it, well, it's going to fall down there anyways. The further up around the bend you are, the less scrap or pieces fall down toward the lake. I want to wait for those two drones to get a little bit closer before we open fire on them. Closer they are, less we have to run. To pick up pieces. Alright. So that was a piece of raw fusion fuel. We currently can't do anything with it. We can't even safely store it. So I'm just drop it off. Wow, I am getting a bunch of it. A lot of pieces of these drones are just going to be nothing found. Just the way it is. Alright, so we did pick up a blueprint, which is good. Now, later on, as we are going through, we will be able to pick things up from a distance. We can actually stay on the train picking things up. But that's going to be a little before we get to that point. All right, so we've passed the 10-minute point, 10-minute mark. All right, so we're basically fully charged. We're just bouncing around a little bit with the reactor turning on and off to charge. That's perfectly normally what's going to happen. Now with our time cut short here. All right, so we're going to be skipping picking up the stuff that's in this cave up here on the right. We're going to skip picking up the stuff that's inside these derailed trains, and it's just mainly because of the time. We've got 2-3 minutes before the storm hits, so it's we don't have the time to clear everything out here and get back in the train and get the train going on into the tunnel. So we'll have to come back, but there's the cave right there. There is materials, there's stickers. There's a sticker back there, if memory serves me right, for designs. There's a blueprint or two back there, I think. So, all right, let's. So actually, so we did get the one extra blueprint from those drones when they came down. That's going to help us. In all honesty, we're going to be bouncing back and forth between Station 3 and Station 4, picking up as much of the useful items, that being we're after our blueprints, we're after power cores, which we still have not seen one yet. We will pick up one, or we'll at a minimum pick up one at Station 4, but we're going to want to get as many of those as we can. All right. So we'll be here a minute anyways. Storm's hitting. While we're in this cave, we're protected from storms, but we still have to deal with being darker whenever the storm hits. Alright, so the reason why we came over here is we had to turn this battery on, and that will allow us to open the gate. We've got a gate, or the gate is preventing us from progressing forward, so we need to get that gate opened. Now, when we're getting close to the end of this tunnel, we will stop and wait for the storm to pass. Still got a little bit before we get to the end of the tunnel, but yeah, we'll be staying inside the tunnel until the storm passes. That way we're protected from said storm. Oops. All right. About went past this. Well, we did stick our nose out to the storm, but looks like we have a couple minutes left of the storm, and we will see. We'll show the next part. Yeah, there's really not much to do while we're waiting on the storm to go. We don't have any of the. Oh, I guess we can work at clearing out our inventory a little bit. All right. Storm is coming to an end. Alright, so we're going to be coming across some new drones. These drones will not attack us. They are just a touch tankier than the scout drones are. But we can get all kinds of material from them because of when you destroy them, they do become a lot more pieces. So once we get past this bridge, as a matter of fact, you can see a couple. So there's info on these drones. So you can actually get these drones to stop and stay in point or stay in place to make it easier to shoot them down just by throwing pieces of material out. Let's see where we're at on our inventory. This extraction beam is something that we will want to have unlocked, and actually we'll have to have it unlocked to get past a certain point. We're not going to get there today, but to get past a certain point, we will have to have that extractor beam. With that extractor beam, we can farm or collect raw fusion material from those rocks. We will be able to collect items from down drones while staying inside the train, which is very handy. I need to grab a couple pieces. Of material. Now, one thing is you don't want them too close to the train, otherwise you might not be able to hit the drones because there are too close to where you are, and they're up high that you can't hit them or you can't aim at them. All right, so this area, there's going to be 5 of these drones. Once you take down 5, that's when I step out and start collecting everything. And I got a piece rolling away. And gotcha. Those pieces are a little bit wonky. Trying to stay mindful of how much time I got. Still doing good on time, but gotta be mindful of it. Ooh, 2 blueprints. Another one, 3. So that piece of scrap there, it has the raw ore in it, or the uh, raw fuel. And right now we have no way of safely storing it. We have no way of processing it. So there's no point in us collecting it. Alright, to get up this hill, I am going to kick it up to power level 2, just to get up this hill. Alright. There is a container back up in there. If memory serves me right. Is it over there? I don't remember. There's typically not very much stuff in it. With as little consumables as we have, it's almost not worth going up there. It's worth it, but it's not a lot of return on the time. So let's get the station open so that we can pull the train in, and then we will start gathering items. All right. So while we still got 5 minutes or so, let's run up here. There's a building here that's got stuff in it that we'll want to grab. Some of the stuff that we're going to start finding is going to be ammo for a different type of weapon. That'd be the ammo right there. All right. So we've got Alright, storm should be hitting in a couple minutes. So over here, there's a scrapper right there. It'll have some material in it that's not really a concern for us. Let's run up here. We'll grab the stuff out of this building here, and then we'll jump into the main station. Alright, there is our first power core. We might get lucky and pick up a second one here in this station. We'll just have to see if we get lucky. Oh, still another... Most staircases have a storage unit underneath them, so something to keep an eye on, or keep an eye out for. Alright, so coming up here on the left, that tunnel goes back to the actual station itself. Up here is actually where you can control the power to the whole station. There's no point in doing anything with it, because you'll want to leave the power on. So, but if you wanted to turn it off, that's where you go. Before we go downstairs, let's grab the stuff that's in here. A couple of energy drinks and a battery. Ooh, we got our second weapons chip. Alright, so that soil there is what is required to build these guys right here. And that is where they're basically miniature greenhouses. And they require seeds. These seeds right here is what's required for making the canned food. And to pick up the seeds for the first aid kits, it's not until we get to station 5 that we'll guarantee to get a pickup. Now we might get lucky and get one to drop from a drone, but there's no guarantee on that. The drone drops is just luck of the draw. So obviously running our flashlight. We are burning our suit's battery. We're using it. So let's go ahead and use a battery. Charge it up. All right, we are doing pretty decent on our blueprints. With as many blueprints as we picked up from the drones, definitely helped us quite a bit. All right. And just like that, we need more. But All right. Well, so this is the run from has been the total of the run from station 1 to station 4. We did decent on our pickups or items that we picked up off of the drones. Definitely did, like I said, we did pretty decent on that. Um, Eventually, if we keep going the way we're going, we are going to have to build out some more storage boxes here. Now we will be finishing building out the train. We'll be boxing this in both stories, or both will be 2 stories. We've got the half walls unlocked, so that's going to make it so that we can have the door in between and be dead center. Make things a lot more convenient for us. All right. As far as our reactor goes, we've burned all the fuel that we had in it. I've got a couple units of fuel, but we're going to hold off on putting that in. And I'm going to hold off on emptying the storage for the time being. The reason behind holding off on emptying the storage is the moment I empty it, I've got radioactive waste. Now that waste can be used to produce the ammo, the icicle ammo. But that's not until after we get, well, I'll just pull it up. Once we unlock this cannon, and then this is the fab factory that we'll have to build in order to produce the ammo for it. The icicle cannon, that is effective against the heavy drones. This cannon is not very effective. It will take the heavy drones down, but it takes a lot to do it. So, you once we pass the dome, we will want to have the icicle cannon, and that's just something that will be required. So, but let's see. Let's take a peek, see when the next storm hits. We got 10 minutes. And let's double check our train power. Let's grab a couple of scraps, or take scrap. I will be moving those. They're not going to stay there. But it's just easier to have them built or have them sitting there, or have them on the train, period, just so we had the power. But from this station, if you want to farm up materials, the easiest way to do is just go back and forth between this station and station number 3. Each time through, the drones will respawn. The drones here, they won't respawn until we get back to station 3, but the scout drones just outside station 3, they will be respawned. So once our train is full charged, we'll start working our way back to station 3. Actually, let's just go ahead and go. As long as you stay on that edge, it won't stop the train. Because you're still on the train. Now, when in reverse, I'll actually use the cannon to watch what's behind me. Oh, wait, did I just see this one of the scavenger drones? Or, yeah. Alright, well, that is a change from the open beta to the closed beta. Because I remember having to just go back and... Alright. Well, we can just stay here and farm these guys. Should be two more. Maybe. No, it's quite possible that they just respawn after each storm. Let's see, what do we end up with? So we did get another two seeds, which those are still the seeds for the canned food. The organic soil, that is what's required for building the little planters. So. All right. Well, I know, deep subject. Well, I think I'm going to call things here for this episode. We've done a little, just just started touching on farming up materials. Uh, we've made it to the fourth station, um, and let's see, we've got a decent start on the train. There are things that we are going to need. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if we can't unlock one or two things here. So we need components. All right, so I have the one power core, and it's going to take one for each item here. For these four items. Um, Now I could right now. It's do I want solar plate start putting solar plates on the train, or do I want another capacitor? The solar plate, each solar panel or plate, well, one plate makes a panel. One panel, I think it's 30 units of power per minute. At 30 times by 15 minutes, you're 450 units of power over the 15-minute period. Versus I would get, if I had a fully charged capacitor, I would be, that's 500 units or 600 units of power. But once I start stacking the solar plates, I'll be keeping my current power fully charged, or keeping my current power capacity charged. I think that's the route we're going to go. We're going to start every power core we get. We're going to build solar plates. So, and of course, we do need circuit board, so I do need another blueprint before I can start building the plates. Awesome. So, but that will be down the line. So, I think I am going to go ahead and call this one here. I want to say thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, leave a comment, and I really hope to catch you guys next time. Take care. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And this is Semi signing off.